My name's Jerod Nieder, and I am a C5 quadriplegic, and we are trying out a little remote cycling workout class here. So I appreciate you guys joining, and stick with us through some of the growing pains as we figure this out. But I think we'll have some fun, and I got a playlist for us. I think it'll be a good workout. I do want to start off with some stretching, and first off, I don't expect you guys, I'm a C5 complete quadriplegic, for whatever that's worth. But, you're not going to know exactly how I function, and I'm not going to know exactly how you function. But anytime we're doing a class like this together, you're really responsible for what you can do and what you're able to do and making sure that it's safe for you. So we want to have fun in here. We want to use each other for motivation. But I want you to be in charge of knowing what's right for you and knowing where your safe limits are. So having said that, we want to get going with some stretching. And first, let's take nice deep breaths. That's one thing that I really struggle with is I take a lot of short breaths. So as we're going through this, and I'm going to suck at it as I'm trying to talk to you guys and lead you through this, but really just focus on, I call it smelling the roses and blowing out the candles. So just really try to fill those lungs. And then exhale all the way, and just really try to use that full capacity of your lungs throughout this whole session. But first stretch I want to get everybody doing is just with our neck. So taking your head to the left, bringing your head to your shoulder, trying to get a little stretch in your neck, and just holding that for about 15 or 30 seconds. As we're getting ready here, hopefully everybody's finding safe positions, making sure you have your seatbelt on if you need that. Let's switch that head to the right, stretching our neck. But I have to tape my wrists and hands all up before I do this. I have problems with wounds on my hands, and I don't feel my hands. So in preparation, I have to tape my hands, and that's something you guys want to be aware of in here. All right. Now let's bring the right arm across the front if you can. I like to grab behind my elbow, pull to get a stretch on that shoulder, and just nice and easy tension, Hopefully you all are familiar with stretching by now, but we don't want you jerking on yourself or anything that hurts. I'm to the point in my life, I feel like I'm getting older. I'm 42, but if it hurts, I don't do it. I'm not about playing through the pain, and I'll talk to a therapist, and there are some things I have to work through. But for the most part, when something hurts, that's your body telling you, and let's pay attention. All right, but stretching to the right. Now let's get the left arm across to the other side. And just 15 to 30 seconds for each of these. And when I'm stretching my arms here, I like moving my elbow joint and my wrist as I'm stretching. It kind of helps me find the spot that I want to stretch and helps me experience a little deeper stretch when I find the right spot. Okay, and if you got room, I'm going to use my machine here to hug against it. I'm just going to bring myself forward and stretch that lower back. And we're all on different machines. We got a little bit different setups. So just doing what works for you. Just taking a few moments here to get stretched out and limbered up. All right, and this is one that's really important for me. So I am always in wrist extension. And so it feels really good to stretch into flexion. And I do want to loosen that up before we get cranking. So if you got your hands free and you can, whichever way your wrists feel tight, or stretch them both ways. But I'm starting off with my right arm, and I press against my chin, and I'm feeling a nice deep stretch all through my forearm here when I do this. I'll feel it all the way back through my tricep, and then even down the side here. So just with my neurological condition, I am always in wrist extension. So stretching into wrist flexion is something I need to do more of, to be perfectly honest. All right, and then let's switch that left hand. All right, nice deep stretch there. All right, and then last, open that chest up. You know, like you're giving a really big person a hug. But just open those arms all you can. We're trying to open our chest. You know, if I get this stretch going really well, sometimes I'll get a little pop in my breastbone, and not that that's not what we're going for, but just trying to just spread that chest apart, open that chest up, like you're getting ready to give or accept a big old hug. Just open that up. All right, let's shake those arms out. Let's start getting ourselves attached to the bike. If everybody's ready, if now is a good time. Cool. Well, as soon as we get everybody, I'm going to get a drink of water here real quick. And, you know, hydration is something that we all want to be staying on top of. But, you know, like for today's class right now is a little too late to get yourself hydrated. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated when you can. But, you know, it's a multiple day process, as Kevin pointed out to me in our last discussion. But, you know, and especially if this is new exercise for you, make sure you're staying on top of your water. Make sure you're staying on top of your sleep. You know, 45 minutes on the bike is a long time. So the goal today, if you're new to cycling or you haven't been cycling regular, you know, let's just try to keep that crank spinning and just try to get a good workout today. But don't push anything too hard. You want to be able to give it a little more next week. So don't do more damage than you are doing good. There we go. Getting my last drink before I get myself all connected. And I have like the perfect little spot that I like my gloves tensioned to that it takes me a while to find that spot where I can slide on and off of this independently. So it's one thing that's important to me with most of my workouts is I try to be as self-sufficient as I can. Just gotta slide that right into position. I spent some time getting this sized up before we started. All right. And I want all of you to pay attention to your position, and if something's not right with your position, go ahead and ask somebody to help you get repositioned and get into a place that's comfortable. Because, you know, you want to be able to give it your all, and you want to be able to, you know, really apply yourself, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're uncomfortable or things aren't right. So I find oftentimes when we first start going, I need to pause and adjust something. And if you're finding the same thing, you know, stop and say something. Don't just put up with it being uncomfortable. Let's do what we can to have a good time. And so how this is set up is we have 9 songs on a playlist, and we're going to just really try to tear at it when the music is playing. And then I have a 1-minute break built in between every song where we can rest a little bit, get some water, and regroup and get ready to go at it again. And we're going to have 45 minutes of trying to get it done like that. All right, Stephanie, whenever you're ready, we will start the music. And use this first song to really just get warmed up. Is the music playing? Oh, there we go. All right. Let's get those cranks spinning. Now, nice and easy. I have a tendency to be an early breaking horse. You know, I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky, so it's all about the horse references. But you want to pace yourself. So just keep it spinning right now. Thank you. That's good with the music volume. I could barely hear it before. All right, keep it going. You want to find that pace that you can sustain. We got a little over 5 minutes with this song, and I want you to keep it spinning the whole time. All right, now if you can, I know you got your hands locked in and your crank is locked. but let's focus on the right arm. Even if both of them have to spin, you can focus on the right. And switch to the left. All right, both of them, pick up the pace. You're doing great. Keep those cranks spinning. Hopefully you're finding that pace that is challenging but sustainable. And that's what we're going for. All right, let's pick up the pace a little bit. Left arm, focusing on that left. The right arm. All right, back to both arms. All right, we're cranking up a hill. Really focus on that power. All right, nice and easy. Keep that crank spinning. All right, now as you're cranking, or you're not gonna be able to crank while you do it, but I want you to bring your chest towards your crank. A nice pull, get that body forward in your chair, a nice sustained hold. See if you can hold it for 15 or 20 seconds. Bringing that chest to your crank, really depressing those shoulder blades. Should feel this in your back. Trying to bring those elbows together, really bringing that chest to your crank. And then back to cranking. Both arms. And pick up the pace. Keep that crank spinning all the way till the music ends. As soon as the music stops, we'll get our break, get some water, wipe that sweat, and get ready to go for round 2. All right, great job, everybody. All right, now after that first round, I know I need to tighten my left one here just a touch. The smallest adjustment goes a long way for me. All right, and get some water. A little over 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure that was our longest bout. So that was a nice, good warm up. And then some of these other ones are going to be more intense, but much shorter. But I have 60 seconds of silence built in between each song of the playlist to give us a chance to get whatever we need to and get ready for the next one. But I'm getting my hand back on. and anticipating to keep going. And I can't hear you. There's some music. Oh, I hear you now. Oh. All right. Yeah. What's that? Absolutely. All right, let's get it cranking. Oh. All right, this song's slightly shorter, a little over 4 minutes. And it's much faster. All right, focusing on the right. Trying to keep it spinning. And if you're fit enough to where you don't need the brakes, you can keep going during the break. That is totally optional. I need the brake, but it's up to you. Let's switch to the left. And if you need a break midway through the song or at any point, you take breaks whenever you need it. You know, this is about doing whatever feels right to you and just trying to use us for motivation to keep it spinning. All right, both hands. All right, we're gonna try some leans here. Now you're gonna stop cranking and try leaning to the right in a safe manner, but see how far you can lean. Then come up to the middle. Now let's lean to the left. Safely, of course. And back cranking. You can't see it right now, but my left leg is in full extension. It's gonna take me a sec. Keep that crank spinning. I'm gonna try to fix this spasm. There we go. All right. There's always gonna be something throwing us off. Thanks for keeping it spinning. All right. All right, now I want you to let your crank stop and then sprint. Counting to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And then we're gonna go for another sprint. On your marks, get set, go. Giving it all you got. All right, slowing it down to a manageable pace. Breathing deep. Left arm. And if you have to spin both cranks, that's fine, but focus on the left. And switch to the right. And both hands. All right, you earned your break there. All right, getting my feet back on. They were sliding all over the place and I loosened my gloves up a little bit. All right, do you have any questions I can handle right now in this one little break? as far as I know, you are the only ones. So it is just us. All right, like I said, you know, if you guys are fit enough to where you can keep going in the brakes, you don't need the brakes, I encourage that. I'm not there yet, and I like to do more kind of like sprint work. So, but all right, here we go. Wheezy's letting us know it's time to get going. So get those cranks spinning. Finding your pace that you can sustain. All right, there we go. All right. Nice and easy, you can sustain. Keep it cranking. All right, now let's bring that chest up again if you can. Try to get your back off of whatever back is supporting you. We're not cranking, we're just trying to bring our chest forward. And if this doesn't work for you, you just crank away and do what does work for you. You know, this is all about finding what works for us. But for me, it's really challenging to try to bring myself forward and get my chest up. You know, this is where I'm normally at, so this takes a lot of effort. But all right, let's get back and go cranking. We're going to do bouts of chest holds and cranking. And I like doing starts. You know, when you let your crank stop and you gotta do cold starts, sprint work, that's good for us. All right, after you get it spinning up to speed, now let's bring that chest up and try to hold it. Once you get it up where it's a little uncomfortable, hold that at least 10 seconds. 4, 3, now back to cranking. Get that thing up to speed. And then bring that chest up. Just as soon as you get your momentum going, I'm taking it away from you. Back to cranking. Oh. Left arm. Right arm. All right, leaning to the right. Safely, of course, but using those arm muscles and using what you got in your core. Let's get over to the right a little bit. Back to the middle. Let's go to the left. Finding where you can safely lean. All right, now crank. Let's get it spinning. All right, and that's our break. Make sure you're repositioning as needed. You know, I have a suprapubic catheter. I know we all have different situations, but oftentimes when I'm working out, what happens is that tube kind of works its way into the fold of my belly and it'll pinch it off. And so I got to check to make sure that my suprapubic catheter tube isn't in my fat fold, to be honest. So everything's jiving all right in here, but just make sure you're staying on top of those things. You know, I don't feel my feet, so I have to look at my feet to make sure I haven't ended up kicking, you know, something that I shouldn't. But let's just be aware of what's going on. Try to be cognizant of your hands. You know, I don't feel my hands, so I have to be careful of blisters. I have to really pay attention to signs of autonomic dysreflexia. All right. This next one is just barely over 3 minutes. This is one of my hype songs. Let's get that crank spinning. All right, we're cranking. Finding that pace that's comfortable. All right, now let's start going hard. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Trying to keep it spinning. All right, left arm. Cranking. Switch to the right. Both. What's up? Keep cranking, I like it. All right, bring your chest up. If you can get your chest up to the crank, flexing those back muscles. All right. Yeah, whatever works for you. All right, cranking. Keep it spinning. Whew. I got to keep adjusting my hands. Whew. Left arm. Right arm. Both arms. All right. That was a tough one for me, guys. I'm not used to talking while I'm doing my cycling workout, and I've been trying to practice by singing along with the music, but it's a little different. I don't know how you guys are doing, but yeah, I'm feeling this. Hey, if the audience is moist, that's all I can ask for. All right, and we're on song 5 out of 9 here, but we have got the longer songs kind of out of the way. And being that I live in Louisville, I had to throw a little Jack Harlow in there. So this next song, Lovin' on Me, it's only 2 minutes and 17 seconds. You know, I don't even know how he released that and considered it a song. But, you know, so I expect us to go pretty hard for this whole song. Here we go, 2 minutes. We're not sprinting, but kind of giving it all you got for 2 minutes. Really challenging yourself. You can do anything for 2 minutes, right? All right, we got to be nearly halfway there. Keep it spinning. Whew. I'm gonna make this feel like the longest 2-minute song of our lives. Whew. Hey. Hey. Keep it spinning, keep it going. Boy, we're almost there. Keep it going. Just a few more rotations. Ooh, there we go. That was tough. All right. Gotta make a few adjustments here. My back is, my butt slides forward a little bit, which I like because it brings my arms a little closer to the crank. And then I gotta adjust my back. It's all about snaking your way into the position that works. One time, the first time I showed my OT and PT, I was telling them how much cycling I do at home, and they're like, well, yeah, we'd love to see what you're up to. And they almost, like, you could see, like, they visibly got ill when they saw my form. They were like, we have so much we have to work on. Like, you're damaging yourself, but that is a challenge of finding something that fits me, that my power chair can get to, that I can do independently. So I feel like we're always robbing Peter to pay Paul, trying to find something that works, but it's not perfect, but you want to be aware of those things. All right, let's get that crank spinning. Keep it going. I got to adjust my playlist over here, sorry. All right. Get that thing cranking. Nice and easy, something you can sustain. Whew. All right. Just nice and sustainable. This is a little bit longer of a song for Jack here. We're almost 4 minutes, so. And this is number 6 out of 9. We're cruising through this playlist. Keep it up. Let's pop it. All right. All right, let's go a little bit faster. Still sustainable, but let's push it just a little bit harder. All right, moving down, stretching to the right. Seeing how far to the right you can lean safely. Getting that head way right of center. And then come back up and cranking. Cranking hard for 10, 9, 8, 6, 3, 2, 1. And leaning to the left. Getting that head way left of center. Reaching down to the left. Safely, of course. Coming back up. And cranking. Cranking hard for 10. There's 5. And break. Leaning to the right. Leaning all the way to the right. Coming up and cranking. Cranking for 10. 8. 5. 3, 2, 1. Leaning to the left. And I'm adjusting my leg here. Oh. Leaning to the left. All right, coming up to the middle and cranking. Nice and easy pace. All right, bringing that chest to the crank. Getting that back off your wheelchair back or whatever back is supporting you. Should really feel this in the back of your shoulders. All right, cranking. Nice and easy. Oh. Keeping it cranking. All right, earned our break here. And I keep sliding around on my crank. I gotta make sure you're getting position, making whatever adjustments you need in the break. All right. All right. This next one is a burnout song for sure. We do have another long one here. This one is about 5 minutes. So, and it's appropriately titled Till I Collapse. All right. You know, I had a spinal cord injury a little over 10 years ago, but one of the things that was very apparent to me that was different about my life now was how much Velcro was going to be a part of my life. Dude, becoming paralyzed, it was like I wish I would have bought stock in Velcro. Yeah. What's that? Oh yeah. So I do Instagram, and I use the title. I'm having another spasm here, guys. Get the crank spinning if you can. But yes, my Instagram is called Positively Paralyzed, and that was one thing with, you guys can get cranking while I'm yapping here, but when I first became paralyzed, there was not a lot of resources online for working out, for things that I was trying to do in this new life that I'd been kind of catapulted into. And so that's why I started Positively Paralyzed along with my wife, and we just try to put a lot of content out there just to kind of normalize disability and be a resource and kind of a community. And so I encourage you to check it out on Instagram. I post workouts on my YouTube all the time. I teach a seated fitness class every Tuesday, and that is a thing that you can join live on Zoom. It's completely free, but if you can't make the live class, I put them all on YouTube so you can work out anytime you want, and that's the plan with these two. I got a whole setup here at home. I have a microphone on the bill of my hat so I can record this, and we can put this on YouTube, and you guys can come check this stuff out whenever you want. Yeah, that is, if living in Louisville where I live, if I was able-bodied, I could get a gym membership for $18.99 a month and have 24/7 access to a gym that I could do any workout that I wanted. And being a paralyzed person, I don't have that access anymore. That's why I have this bike here at home, trying to give myself more opportunities, because the more access you have to fitness, the more likely you are to get it done. And that's just something that I'm really passionate about, and that's why I do social media. And I am out of breath. So let's keep that crank spinning. Keep it spinning. Let's focus on the left. Focusing on the left, keeping it spinning. And let's switch to the right. But that is something that I love, that I have filled my page, the people that I follow, are all people with challenges or you know, some motivational, some other things that I'm interested in. I'm not just interested in being disabled, but when I get online and I get on my social media accounts, I'm pretty normal. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to just scroll through and see somebody dealing with catheter issues, or see somebody on a hand bike, or see somebody that's having trouble with their insurance, you know, just the shit that I deal with. I like it. It's such an empowering feeling to get on social media and feel normal. I'll tell you that. So if there's anything good that can come out of these devices that we're carting around all the time, like I feel included. I have a resource where I can talk to other people that have similar problems, and that's, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff about social media, but that is one great, beautiful thing. Let's get that chest to the crank. Support that back with your arms. Trying to keep that chest as close as you can to the crank. And then back, and let's get cranking. Get that thing going up to speed. And then we're leaning to the right. Leaning over to the right, stretching. Letting that bike lose speed. And then we're coming out, and let's get that crank up to speed. Yeah. Now to the left. Now lose all that momentum. Stretching down to the left. Back to the middle. Get going. Now pull that chest up. Get that chest to the crank. Now back to cranking. All right. Made it through another one. I got to make sure I don't talk so much and get some water. Oh. Whew. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but I use these little water flavored things, and it's a little bottle of concentrated liquid. It's probably awful for me, but just a little squirt of that in my water, and I really like flavoring it up a little bit. I try to drink at least 64 ounces a day. I make sure I fill that up at least once, and I try to fill it up twice on my workout days. So water is so important, and not just when you're working out, you know, every day. And, you know, it's evident with my bladder health. You know, I have a suprapubic catheter, like I told you guys. I have an indwelling catheter always sitting right here on my leg. You know, and that's something that used to kind of annoy me. You know, you see therapists and they look at your pee and they're like, oh, you need to drink more water. I'm like, yeah, I get it. My pee's on my leg. All right, let's get that thing cranking. But it's true. And you really need to stay on top of your hydration. And there's just so many benefits from just simply drinking water, you know? So let's try to keep that in mind. Whew. Oh. Nice and easy pace. Something that's sustainable for you. Left arm. Switch to that right arm. Both arms. Just nice and slow, keeping it going. Right. This is number 8, you know. After this, you got one more song. You guys are crushing it. I really appreciate all the hard work and keeping moving. Let's get that chest up, holding it close to the crank for at least 15. 10, 5, 3, 2, 1, and cranking. Right arm. Left arm. All right, both arms. All right, we're gonna do 5 on, 5 off. So you're gonna crank hard for 5 seconds, then break for 5 seconds. So here we go. Cranking for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. 5, 4, 3, 2, and crank. And break. And crank. And break. And crank. And break. And crank. And break. Leaning to the right. Coming up to the middle, leaning to the left. Up to the middle, cranking nice and easy. Keep it going. All right, taking a break. Whew. I promise it's the red lights here. You know, I did red lights in honor of the University of Utah. It's not that I'm like gassed and pink. I promise. It's a good color on me, right? All right. Just finished up with the water there. And last song. After this song, we'll do basically the same stretch as we did to begin with. Just kind of a little cool down, and we'll have plenty of time for question and answers, and you guys can tell me what worked and maybe what didn't and what we can do better. And hopefully each week we can make this a little bit better, and we can get a product that you guys really enjoy every week. So that's my goal. All right, let's get that crank spinning. Last one. All right, we're gonna do some more 5 on, 5 off. So when I say crank, you're going for 5, and when I say break, we're breaking for 5. And crank. Break. Crank. Break. Crank. break. Leaning down to the right. And crank. And break. Let's bring that chest up to the crank. Holding that tight. Really squeezing, bringing that belly and that chest. Bring it all as far forward as you can. And we're cranking. Cranking, cranking, cranking. And break to the left. Leaning to the left. Stretching down. Crank. And break. And crank. And break. And crank, nice and easy. Right arm. Left arm. Both arms. Let's get that chest up. Get that chest and that belly up. Out of the seat, close to the crank. And crank. I just rocketed my microphone off the bill of my hat. And break. 5, 4, 3, and crank. And break. And crank. And left, nice and easy. Right arm, nice and easy. Both arms. All right. Congratulations, guys. You survived the inaugural class. Way to go. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. Let's catch our breath. Let's get positioned in a safe. My butt's been sliding all around. There we go. All right. All right. Get you some water. Exhale. We made it. All right. Back to that deep breathing. While we're cooling down here, really smelling the roses and blowing out the candles, breathing deep through your nose and exhaling all the way. You know, I always short breath it. You know, that's something I've struggled with since my injury, and you really got to focus on getting that breath all the way down into the bottom of your lungs and then pushing it all the way out, really being cognizant of that. Awesome, thank you guys. See you next week at some point. Great. See ya. Bye.